Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Triathlon Preview Show, episode 51.
Hello.
So last weekend, we had several draft legal races, some Ironman 70.3 races. Looked to be some good racing across the board. Anything stand out to you, Emily?
Not really. I mean, you just see more and more people racing. Ben Hoffman, I think he was probably just in the throes of like getting ready to taper for Ironman and putting down those last big miles. So I think he was just a little bit kind of in Ironman mode and finished sixth, which you might think, oh God, that's terrible, but I don't think it was. I was in Tucson over the weekend and we saw Sebastian Keenley at the pool because he's been training there a lot, and he said that Hoff has just been like hitting like the miles, like he'll do 250 Ks on the bike quite frequently. So, and he's always been like that. So I think he's really getting ready to defend his title at Ironman South Africa.
Yeah, interesting to me in the Philippines, just Rudy Wild edged out Alexander and the defending 70.3 champion Tim Reed, over there. So good to see Rudy Wild. Basically, I think he, ran off. They all came off the bike together, I'm pretty sure, in about the same area, and he beat him out in the run.
Yeah, it looked like it was a really big group off the bike together, and then people kind of spread out in the heat, which makes sense. That Jake Montgomery, the young guy, had the best bike split, but it looks like he really melted in the heat and faded to, he might have been out of the top 10. Rudy Wild, like you could see him in the background at 70.3 Worlds in the finish line, like it was so close. So good to see him. I feel like this is one of his first bigger wins, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's save the cool Super League stuff for later. We'll jump into some 70.3 racing across the world. You want to start? We'll start over here in North America and Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So what I noticed, and I'm sure you noticed the same, like this is a P500 race, but the fields are stacked. And I think it's a combination of people really wanting to get ready to just race, like everyone's like hot to trot this time of year. And two, I think a lot of people are trying to get in a hot race in preparation for Ironman Texas, because that's just in a month. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Texas moving up really shifted everybody's, if they're going to do Texas, you really have to, plan it earlier, 70.3, just because, maybe Galveston might've been the one that everybody went to, but it's just too late these days. So yeah, like you said, there's a lot of, the men's list obviously sticks out, but the women's list is great.
Yeah.
So we can just talk about some of the women, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have multiple winners actually at this race. Like Tyne Deckers won, I think, last year. Hella Fredrickson won a couple years ago. Kelly Williamson has won here before. Pretty sure Lindsay Corbin might have won one year or was in the top three. So right off the bat, you have people who have done well kind of on the island and are coming back. And I think it'll be a good race. I mean, you have Jody Robertson. She ran down a lot of people last year. Alicia Kay, I mean, she was in the top 10 at 70.3 Worlds. So, like for a P500 race, there are going to be really good people who might not get paid, because I think it only pays like 6 deep.
So. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad of a trip, at least from, south area where I am. But I mean, because, flight's pretty short and stuff like that. But if you're up north, I mean, it's definitely a trip, and you definitely land some money down to fly down here. And yeah, I mean, you're going to fly back with nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I raced there once. So flying from California, I mean, it's a haul because it's like 5.5, 6 hour flight to Miami. And then you have another 2.5 hours, I think, to Puerto Rico from there. So it's an all day thing. But like I said, I think people are just ready to race. They've been doing their training camps, probably want to get some time in the sun, and Puerto Rico is a nice place to go. But I think you're going to see some people in different stages of training, so to speak. Some people are going to be doing this just as kind of a warm up for Texas. Like I know Tyne is racing Texas, Kelly is, Jody Robertson is, Alicia Kay is. Leslie Miller was at the camp in Tucson that I was at. She's racing Texas, and I know her. I mean, she wants to do well, but at the same time, it's like I want to get in a hot race and kind of like prepare myself for that.
Yeah, I mean the men's list is just as stacked with right off the top you got Andy Potts, Matt Russell, which there's a thing going around that he's trying for sub. What is it?
2 hours
He's something about Texas. He wants to set some crazy overall record at Texas.
for what? The whole race, like
Yeah, the
win
whole
the race.
race. I think he
Oh.
wanted to go like get close to Lionel's record or something. I saw. I'll have to relook at it, but he was posting something. I
Well,
can't
then
really remember what it
I
was.
hope he's like tapering for Texas and isn't going to race an Ironman a week before. You know, I don't know. Just a
Yeah.
thought. You have to go all in for Texas, then
No,
you
yeah,
can't
that's what he's
like.
saying. He's going something big for Ironman Texas. Sorry.
Okay.
And so yeah, he's going something big there. And then you got Taylor Reed.
Yep.
I see down here there's Ben Knut's on the list.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, it's a good time to do it, right? Like this time of year in this year, 2017, kind of change it up. I think it could go well, or I think he'll probably be fine off the bike. It's just how he handles the nutrition and the heat, because Puerto Rico is really it's hot, and then the run there is super hilly. I mean, that run is a killer. So if you screw up your nutrition or your hydration, you're going to pay the price.
Yeah, I mean, I see him being right there with on the swim and the bike. It'll be interesting to see if he'll try to go get Andy Potts on the bike, because we always see him in the ITU, and he is just, I mean, he likes to bike fast. But
Yeah.
is that the
Honestly, I
smart
think
play?
honestly, I think he might be out of the water in front of Andy Potts. I mean, Andy's kind of more that Ironman triathlete now, and I think you tend to lose a little bit of kind of quickness on that swim, and it's just not a focus in Ironman, right?
Yeah, I think you're
For
right.
someone like Potts, and I think that Canute his swim is legit. So I think he might have a little more. I mean, I think Andy will stay on his wheel. I'm sorry, stay on his feet. But I think
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Canute might.
Andy would love to have somebody lead the swim and he could just sit on his feet the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we'll see. It's hard to like say what people are going to be doing. I think Hella Fredrickson's probably ready for a good one. She's kind of was coming back from injury, so she's one of my picks for the women.
Yeah, I mean, there's
All
definitely,
right.
I mean, there's other people like, Shoemaker, like you said, he's on this list, but he's also doing Ironman Texas. So this could be, preparation for the heat. Um,
Yeah.
Justin Dare's on this list. I'm not sure if he's doing Texas, but I know he usually always does.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely a lot
Yeah.
of Ironman Texas people on the 70.3 Puerto Rico list.
Yep, no doubt. And I'm sure we can talk about the Mexico one, Campeche, and I'm sure there'll be some that are, doing the same thing. Like we'll just roll right into it. Matt Hansen, he's doing Texas and he's doing Campeche. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking over that list right now, see if I remember anybody else was on the Texas list. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Drew Scott is on the 70.3 start list, but I also think I saw him on the South Africa list.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think you might be right. And I remember seeing something. I think he spent, kind of the winter in New Zealand. And I feel like I listened to a podcast or something, and he was on it saying that he wanted to get back into the Ironman game. So that could be, I mean, 2 weeks apart. I mean, that's not too bad. Maybe he's going to fly right from Mexico down to South Africa. Or maybe he's not going to do this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought I heard it, and actually I do see it. Yeah, his name is on the South Africa list. So he
Yeah.
could not be doing it. He could be doing it as a nice little, last little bit, and then he's done.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Matthews is on both lists, so just look out for where actually he does start on.
I thought they weren't allowing that anymore.
I'm not sure there.
Yeah, Jeff Simons. didn't see. He had kind of I don't know what happened to him at Western Australia at the end of last year. And then, I think he's on the Texas list. And so he's probably building back up. Had that elbow break in Texas last year, and I feel like it derailed just everything. I mean, he won Penticton, but, there was no Kona, nothing like that. So, and Trevor Wortel is always a favorite to me, especially at the beginning of the season. The Wortels race pretty well. Not that they race badly at the end, but I feel like they're fit and they've been training in St. George. So I think they'll be good. Cody Beals, Tim Don. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it feels like he didn't have the greatest of years last year, but I mean, he did finish second at Brazil, Ironman Brazil. So it wasn't so bad. I think it's just, you have a short memory and Kona didn't go that well for him. So it's like, you don't remember much. Michael Weiss. So good list. Not quite as well, maybe about the same as Puerto Rico. I feel like the women's list here is
not as deep.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but it's just not as deep. I mean, you got Cave, Wortel, and Lyles.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just, I mean, it doesn't fall off, but I mean, there are other people there.
Right. I mean, Jackie Herring coming back from having a baby last year, I think tried to get back into racing pretty quickly last year, and I think ended up with some back problems, so that kind of derailed her. Sarah Comito did well at Cozumel last year, so she's used to kind of the Mexican heat. I'm sure has been training hard. But yeah, those are kind of the people. The Celine Shira, number 30, I can't say her last name. She trains with Sutto, so she's a solid swim biker, so she might be up there. People are going to melt in the heat. It's the first race of the season. It always happens.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to Taiwan. Looking at the start list, first thing I see is a lot of people look either to be on double start list last weekend and this weekend, or they're racing double weekends in a row for at least the men's list. It looks pretty to be pretty wild. Michael Raylert, Sven Rieldener, Kevin Collington, Jake Montgomery.
It's like they all raced in the Philippines and then just took a flight to Taiwan. I'm pretty sure that Kevin Collington is doing it for sure. Don't know about the rest. Tim O'Donnell, like you said, he got second at that Mooloolaba non-draft try to Dan Wilson this past weekend. So it's a flat, fast course in Taiwan. So I'm sure it'll be a big group together off the bike, and then we'll separate on the run.
Yeah, women-wise, Radhika, Kate, and Barbara.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a battle between Radhika and Barbara Riveros. She being Barbara has done real well, kind of stepping up to the 70.3s. I mean, her bike is not quite as strong, but her run is sick. Yeah. So if she's a little behind, she'll move up.
She's good in that heat, I feel like.
Yeah, she's smaller. Yeah, I agree. It's not a hilly run, though. That would be really good for her. Like Pucón is a super hilly run. I'm sure she just bounds up those hills like nothing.
So, yeah, a lot of 70.3 action going on. Races are rolling along now for Ironman 70.3, and 2 Ironmans are coming along. Like you said, first weekend of April is our first Ironman of the year.
Yep. Crazy.
All right, let's move over to the crazy stuff that I don't understand. But Super League, Hamilton Island.
It looks beautiful. It's kind of like the Island House type deal, just in Australia. Just really pretty water and vacationing and lots of suffering, it seems. So
we need to make sure we email these people sooner and see if we can get some, all expense paid vacations out there to preview and live. I mean, they're doing all this live stuff. I mean, we should be out there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if we're on the right side of the MACA thing. You know what I'm saying?
We're neutral.
We're neutral. We're like Switzerland, or not Switzerland, Sweden. Sorry, Sweden. Um, yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It would be nice.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to start with the event or the athletes first? Because they're both have a mix of everything.
A mix of people. Let's just go over the events real quick, and like we talked about earlier, we're not going to go into it like super in depth, like with all the penalties and all that stuff, but we'll just give you a quick breakdown kind of what's happening each day, and then we'll go over the athletes. What do you think?
That works for me. Why don't you take day one?
Okay, day one is the triple mix, and I'll just say this right off the top because I had to look it up. Except for the individual time trial on day two, all the biking is draft legal. So they'll be on their, road bikes with shorty bars if they choose to put those on. So, so the triple mix is 3 rounds, and you get 10 minutes between each round, and that 10 minutes starts when the first person crosses the line in the round. So if Alistair Brownlee wins round 1, the 10-minute countdown starts when he crosses the line. So if you finish in 10th place at 9:30, you have 30 seconds to get ready. And then round 1 is 300-meter swim, 6K bike, 2K run. Round 2 is 2K run, 6K bike, 300-meter swim. And then round 3 is 6K bike, 300-meter swim, 2K run. And if you finish first in the round, you get to choose your starting position, and they're all starting at the same time. And then you get points based on, like through 15th, it kind of graduates down, and then 16th through 20th is 1 point. If you get eliminated, and you can get eliminated by finishing outside of the 10 minutes, then you get 0 points for the triple mix. All right, you take day 2.
Yeah. All right. So day 2 is the equalizer day. Morning ITT, just a 6K ITT. And then we move to the afternoon, which is called the equalizer. And it's in a format of 300-meter swim, 2K run, 300-meter swim, 6K bike, 2K run. And you start, first person to finish the ITT starts first. And if you're 36 seconds back, you start 30 seconds back of the winner. So you're trying to go get the first place guy, basically.
Right. And then if you, as you come out in groups, you can draft on the 6-kilometer bike, which is only 6 kilometers. So with 2 swims and a run before it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay, day 3. Who wants to take it, you or me?
Go ahead, day 3. You got it.
Okay, eliminator is 3 rounds of swim, bike, run with a 10-minute break in between each round. 10-minute break is like the first day. It starts when the first place finisher comes across the line, and people are eliminated. So in round 1, if you finish 16th through 20th, you're out. Round 2, if you finish 11th through 15, you're out. And then round 3, no one's eliminated. And then you get points kind of based on that. Like 16th through 20th only gets 1 point. And then the winner of the whole weekend is based on points, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm finding out. It's based on points, not based on time. Basically, you get points each day. You get points at the end of each day, right? So at the end of the triple mix, at the end of the equalizer, at the end of the eliminator. And then based off of those 3 days worth of points, here's your winner. It's a lot of little 300-meter swims, a lot of 6K bikes, a lot of 2K runs. The total comes out to 2,400-meter swim, 48K bike, 16K run. So comes out to about 30 miles biking for us US people and 10 miles running. So not a lot, but yeah, there you go. That's the key.
High intensity. And I looked at the prize money. I won't go through the whole thing, but top 3, it's 100K, 50K, 25K, and then it, 4th is 10K, and then it kind of goes down. 10th place is 2.5K.
So, I mean, decent prize money.
Top heavy. per
Yeah.
eagle.
So very interesting, similar, but definitely different format than the Island House. But, similar Fast and Furious style racing going on.
Yeah. All right. So talk about the athletes. There's a couple athletes who won't be there. We all heard Joe Malloy retired. So he's not racing. Aaron Royal tore his plantar fascia. He's not racing. And Jonathan Brownlee has a hip injury, so he's not racing. That said, there is plenty of firepower left.
For sure.
Starting with Alistair Brownlee, I would say, which I heard in the individual time trial. It's like at the very end, it's some like crazy steep hill, and he's just going to keep his 21 tooth cog in the back. That's the biggest he's going to have. So we'll see how that goes. He's strong though.
Yeah, I mean, Gomez, Cam Dye, he did great. He always does great in the Island House stuff.
Yeah.
There's definitely a mix of those ITU guys and a mix of the long course guys.
Bazone, who did great in the Island House. Josh Amberger, he's getting ready for Ironman South Africa though too, I believe. So, how does this fit in type thing? Is he tired? Will it be hard to kind of get that intensity going? Brent McMahon, he's done well in the Island House. Mario Mola, remember he suffered those massive cramps like coming out of the water and then having to run. So hopefully he learned something from that. Richard Murray.
Henry Schumann.
Yeah, is he on there? Yeah, Schumann, Murray, Varga. Yeah, I mean it's hard to say like how it's going to shake out because Gomez won the Island House the year before last. So he's good. I mean, all these people are strong. I think it just depends. I think everybody's going to have a day or a round or something that they're really tired. And how are they going to, you got to parse your energy out just a little bit, right? I mean,
you do, but you don't. I mean, you can't get eliminated. I mean, you can't be 10 minutes behind. I mean, let's just say that Gomez and Brownlee are the two favorites, right? You can't be more than 10 minutes behind them. And I know we're talking about short stuff, but even if you're 8 minutes behind them, you only get a 2-minute rest compared to the guy that gets 10-minute rest. I mean, so you can't. It's not like. I mean, you can get eliminated and you get basically no points. So you need to keep those points going as long as you can. You need to stay in the race.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you have Grajales as well, who's a really good runner. I mean, not to mention it's going to be hot. So every day you're going to be racing in the heat at a high intensity. Like recovery is going to be super important. Getting cooled off. Like in addition to all this racing they're doing, it's like the warming up and the cooling down like adds on. I mean, just more mileage, right? So maybe that favors like, more the middle distance people.
I think there's different strategies to use too. I mean, you could be the guy that's like, I'm going to go out first, round and just try to see if I can get as much gap as I can and then eliminate 15 guys. And then round 2, I'll take it easier because now all these guys are gone. Or, or you could just be like, all right, I'm going to play even keel, just hold my endurance throughout, the first 2 days.
It just seems like, I mean, so in round 1, say, of the triple mix, it's swim, bike, run. And it's 300-meter swim, 6K bike, 2K run. It's going to be super hard to get 10 minutes on someone.
For sure. It will be.
I mean, that's like they'd have to have a mechanical or something.
For sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, all these guys are super good. I mean, there's, they added a couple 18-year-olds that I don't know much about. So they might be maybe people who end up on the bubble. I mean, I feel like the first round will be okay, but then it just as you get more tired, maybe you can get more time on people.
Yeah, I mean, I like how the first day of the triple mix, like they did a swim first, and then they do a run first, and then they do a bike first. So like, if you're a great swimmer, that first round is gonna benefit you because you'll get off the bike, you'll get on the bike in a draft pack. If you're a good runner, you'll get in that a draft pack with first, and then if you're a good biker, you're already starting a draft pack. You might like hopefully you just drop people.
That's going to be an interesting, like the way they start it, they're going to start it all together. Like, is it going to be a bike race where they're going to be all like lined up and then just start riding? Or, I mean, you have to clip in your 1 foot. It's going to be interesting to watch. And
Crit
speaking of,
101.
yeah, I think speaking of watching, us in the United States, it's not going to be broadcast live on TV, but I think you can watch it online on their website. I think they're going to have a live stream.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
So,
seeing live streams. I don't know if it's live streaming their website or Facebook Live because they've been doing a lot of stuff Facebook Live. I've been seeing, so
yeah.
check there too.
Yeah, I just, well, first of all, I hope they add women and they're serious about that because I think it's glaring that they don't have a women's, race for this one. And then I also hope that it works and they do get kind of the viewership that they need to keep this going because it's kind of like creating a pro league versus races like Ironmans and 70.3 where you just have pros there.
Agreed.
I think there's a difference. And I think it's cool they're doing like everyone's kind of in the same uniform. They have numbers. So I hope that
There's leaders there's like a bike leader jersey and a run leader jersey where you cumulative times and the different disciplines. Yeah, I agree on your other 2 points too about the women, and then the league. But the other thing, women, I did see somewhere that they were definitely going to do one, which I hope they follow through with that. But I think it also might not be the best year for women. I mean, we've been hearing a lot of women are pregnant, so.
But that said, there are a lot of really, really good women, and they deserve to be showcased. And if there's this much money and like marketing going into it, like the women deserve it. I don't care if someone's pregnant.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
her, not everybody else. So, like, I don't think Flora Duffy should be punished for that.
Yeah, hopefully they can
But
either do this later, at the end. They're doing this one beginning of this year. Maybe they do another one at the end of the year.
just for
Or is this,
females or
yeah,
something.
just for
Yeah.
females, or is this a once year thing? I mean, because it's great, but it's only one time, the Island House. It's one time a year. I mean, like, I feel like to keep the interest in this type of stuff, like it needs to be once a month or every other month, be like, all right, Super League's back. It's 2 months from now we're back and we're doing the exact same thing in a weekend. And like you said, you have like a roster of people and you pay them a base salary, and then if they do so well, then they get their bonuses to win.
Yeah, and I think they actually are planning 4 or 5 events. We just don't know where the rest are.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's what I heard, and so that's why they're planning on adding the women. Apparently, they have like contracts with some women, and they're going to be adding it in the fall, hopefully. So, I hope to see that happen, and we'll see if they're going to have a race somewhere in North America, or most of them are going to be over in Asia, or I think a lot of this is being financed by a Russian, so maybe they'll have one in Russia. I don't know. So I hope it for the sake of this pro side of the sport, I hope it works. Because if it doesn't, I mean, you can kind of see. I mean, this is a whole other story, but I mean, it's hard. I think with Ironman and 70.3 to get the viewership to monetize it as much as you could with something like this.
That you have time to watch. I have time to watch this. I don't have time to sit. I mean, even though I do, but I don't have time all day to sit and watch an Ironman. Like, it's not fun.
No, you can go out and do your training and then come back and check where they are because they're probably still on the bike.
Yeah, they're still on the bike. Yeah, exactly. And they're still racing. I don't have the time to do that, but this is it's fast. Like you said, it's furious. It's, it's short, it's not like I'm watching for 12 hours. I'm watching for shit. They're only going to take
an hour.
Yeah. An hour. And then I'm done. Great. I just watched a couple, a half of basketball, not even, less than a half of basketball. Shit. Basketball takes forever these days.
Right. So yeah. So I will be watching, and hopefully everybody else will. It starts Friday morning in Australia, which is, depending where you are in North America, Thursday afternoonish. So tune in and see how it goes.
Awesome. Any final comments on Super League or Ironman 70.3 racing this weekend?
No. just excited to see kind of where people are and how it goes. And I think we'll have a better preview of the next Super League after we see how this one goes.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll, yeah, everybody's getting back to racing. Maybe we'll start making some picks in the coming weeks when we start seeing where everybody's doing. And it's just so hard at the beginning of the year. You never know what people are trying to do.
Yeah, some people come in like already tired from way too much winter training. They got over motivated, and then some people are building into the season. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.